Forward. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 65 of the In From Japan podcast, the podcast where we talk about the latest news on Japan-developed games and other things in relation to them. Available on YouTube and in most places podcasts can be found. I'm your host, as always, Erroll Moss. With me is my co-host, the phenomenon from Suriname, Jason Coiter.
Hey. And
we also have a guest this week. For the first time we've had a guest in a long while, Kevin Pape, also known as TheRedHerb and KevinApocalypse, and various online places. So for those who don't know, Kevin, who are you? Even though I just said
it. you encapsulated the essence of me very nicely. Yes, I am Kevin Pape, but online I'm KevinApocalypse, and because I'm really bad at branding, on Twitch, I'm twitch.tv/TheRedHerb. But I also do a podcast, which has nothing to do with any of those names, called The Save Room, where we talk about video games. And that's about it, because it's the only podcast that talks about video games. I thought there was a gulf.
And by what name do you go on that podcast?
This is super confusing. I'm Jason, thank you for asking. I go by Stefan on the podcast. That's my character. No, just Kevin. Hi, I'm Kevin. Hi. Thanks for having me, by the way.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
So before we get into what we've been playing, we have a little housekeeping. One is make sure to check out some of our new content. We have me and Foggy rambled a bit about Godzilla vs. Kong on our on the premiere of the Kaiju Zoo podcast, and then I interviewed voice actor Sean Chiplock, whose notable roles include Rivali from Breath of the Wild and Age of Calamity, Subaru Natsuki from RE0, Mishima in Persona 5, and Reen Schwarzer in the Trails of Cold Steel series. So go check those out. So getting into the Japanese games we've been playing lately, I think we'll start with our guest. So Kevin, what have you been playing lately?
Most recently, as in hours ago, I was playing Final Fantasy XIV, Realm Reborn. I actually was playing the PS5 edition that came out, which I think is in beta for the rest of the month or until they just feel comfortable enough to call it like a full launch. But I was playing a bit of that. Yeah. So it's pretty smooth so far, and fast. Like when I was actually playing around the teleporting, you get by like in seconds. It's pretty nice.
Did you have any trouble logging in? Because I see kind of like my whole timeline complaining about not being able to sign up or sign in.
Yeah, I was queued up for a little while when I first started earlier, and I think I just was looking at Twitter for 15 or so seconds. Not too terrible, but I know that I know some people have been having worse login problems.
Yeah, last year when I started playing for real, I had to make a dummy account just to play a game I technically own, and then I had to rebuy it on the dummy account just to play it. So, it's fun. It's really fun.
I didn't know I'd have to rebuy a subscription when I got a new computer because I was unsubbed at the time, and I was like, yeah, I'll probably download it. It'll let me it'll just tell, and it's like, no, you can't log in and update it unless you resub. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, isn't there a free trial that's going on with it too? They're trying to get people in.
Yeah, at this point, yes. I think it's in conjunction with the open beta, as you said. And also there's up until level 60, which would get you through to Heaven's Ward, is free to play. So I think it's a good meaty piece of content to sink your teeth into. If you ever find the time to dive into an MMO. So
yeah, relearning that's been fun. That it is a serious time investment. Every little thing. I'm trying to get my gear up to do this. I'm still stuck in the starter content, which I've been told is could be anywhere from 50 to 100 hours.
That's a lot. Yes.
The DLC.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Good luck.
The advice I got was do main story quests. And between levels 45 and 50, it kind of slows to a crawl in terms of XP gain. Don't neglect the blue marked quests. Don't neglect to eat food, because that gives you like a 3% XP boost. And if you really want to gain XP real quick, you can do PvP. And that'll boost you up real quick.
Although PvP is very chaotic. And
yeah, but I think just to gear up for end game content, you won't really mind it all that much. I was
level 50 before I tried PvP for the first time, and I had no idea what was happening.
Yeah, it can be messy. It can be messy.
I didn't even know there was PvP. I mean, it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
The nice thing is, you can get some cool armor even if you don't necessarily win, because you get these like, I don't know what they're called, but you get like some
special
currency for that area, and then you can get armor that you could use for like your what is it? Not layered armor is what it's called. Essentially, that's what it's. But glamours, yeah, glamours. That's what it was. Yeah. And
any interest? Are you guys getting back in? Or you said you were.
So I played a little bit the other night because I was like, I had stopped at this quest that was like, make sure you have adequate time because this is a very cutscene heavy quest, and it wasn't even like that bad. It was just like, all right, it was just a single player instance, and it was like, all right, go take care of these guys, and then like kind of moves the story forward a bit. And then after I was like, all right, I guess I'll do one more quest, and before you know it, I was at the next dungeon. I haven't done the next dungeon yet, but
yeah, dungeons can be a time commitment.
It's just like I'll do just one more, but it's like when half of the quests are just talking to people, it's like, oh well, it's not even like doing one quest is that big of a deal.
It usually just gets you from point A to point B, and then once you hit a dungeon, that is the real meat of the content. I'm currently still subbed. I think I still have between 20 to 30 days left on my sub. I'll dip in pretty soon, but for the moment, all my attention is on Trails of Cold Steel, which I'll be talking about in a bit. But yeah, Final Fantasy is still a fixture in my life.
And Kevin, so you're also like a big fan of survival horror games, and you've been streaming some Resident Evil 2 and Dino Crisis this week.
I have indeed. I've been going through this whole streak of Capcom games because I also do the Devil May Cry, where I play every Devil May Cry game every Friday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but yeah, this week I decided, I turned 31, and I said to myself, I want to ignore time, essentially, and go backwards, and just like, go down to the walk of nostalgia with Dino Crisis 2, one of my favorite games of all time. Very, very action-based for the series. You just mow down dinosaurs. That's the entire plot. Something about time travel, but mostly it's mowing down dinosaurs. And then I replayed Resident Evil 2, the original, because that might be like my favorite game of all time. If you ask me between that one or the remake, I won't tell you. I'll just like yes.
Yeah.
But it's tough because, like, honestly, yes, the remake totally improves the original, but there's something about the framework for the original that I think at this point I need to acknowledge and be like, yep, that's my nostalgia bone that's aching for the style,
It's kind of sad with all the news of Sony closing down the older legacy content stores. So you still getting a kick out of quote unquote older frameworks it's really good to see.
Yeah, that was one of the sadder bits that I heard in the last few weeks coming out of Sony, because when you think about it, for these classic survival horror games, not just this, the original Silent Hill, like there's no good way to get these on PC legally, wink wink, but like literally they're not on Steam.
There's no like official way. But there was, with Dino Crisis, Capcom did acknowledge it this week with putting the soundtrack on Spotify.
That is true. I've actually been listening to that, the Dino Crisis 2
and
soundtrack
Steam,
on Spotify.
For some reason. They put the soundtrack on there. I was like,
Steam has a decent catalog of music these days.
But it's also like, a lot of games come with soundtracks on Steam.
That's super interesting to me. That's like when people tell me like, oh yeah, I listen to a bunch of music through YouTube. I'm like, really? That's an avenue?
It's free.
Yeah. Then I figure, oh yeah, it's openly
That's why
available.
this
I don't need to
podcast
spend
is on
$5
YouTube. I know not everybody uses Spotify and Podbean or whatever.
That's pretty smart. Yeah. But yeah, the old love. I hate to see these games kind of just sync with these digital stores, which it turns into this whole other argument. I don't want to rabbit hole, right? But it turns into this argument about preservation versus like continuity.
We're big on video game preservation here. So yeah.
Yeah. I think it's an absolute must, especially if you want to like talk about games as being, having any kind of artistic impact. Well, if you're not willing to, protect the legacy of games, then you just don't care about it, is what it feels like, from Sony especially. But, that's me soapboxing.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to me, I've been not playing that much of Japan developed games lately this week, just because it's like between waiting for people to get to high rank in Monster Hunter Rise, Nier coming out next week, and just kind of taking a break, and me playing a lot of Red Dead Online with my personal friends. That world is empty, by the way, because like nobody's
that's
there.
Surprising.
No, there was I experienced a glitch today where I ended a mission and a bunch of dead legendary animals spawned.
So it was kind of like a mini Monster Hunter within Red Dead Redemption.
I didn't have to hunt them; they were already dead. But yeah, they just started coming out of the ground. Of course, unfortunately, I didn't realize who to sell the pelts to, and I was testing it, so I left and logged back in, and then they were all gone, and I could have gotten way more money. Anyways, that is a Western game. That's the opposite. This is not In From the West. That's our April Fool's Day podcast. Where we're cowboys. No, we didn't. We never did that.
I wish you did. It's a great idea.
Maybe. I can't do an accent. I can't do a southern accent. Pac-Man 99, been playing a little more just as a pick up and play, because it's just fun to just pick up and play around. I got to 27th place this time. Highest I've gotten.
Decent.
That's like, I don't have any other details. It's Pac-Man 99. It's Pac-Man, and you can eat a bunch more ghosts, and every time you eat a fruit, it refreshes the what do you call it? The board? Mm-hmm. Dating myself calling a level a board, but that's what it is. And then Monster Hunter Rise, I helped some friends hunt a little bit because they weren't quite at high rank yet and they needed a little help. And then, so my friend Panda, who was PandaFin, who was featured on our first episode of In From Japan Arcade, was playing Monster Hunter Rise on his stream, and him and his friend got destroyed by a Kezu, and I was like, all right, I guess they need me. And then we went to hunt some other stuff, and then they went back to the Kezu, and they both got killed by it again. I was fine. Wow. I was fine. So I was like, well, guys, I think you guys need to practice a little more, maybe get some better armor.
They should practice against that Kezu.
Yeah.
I mean, I fought against Kezu just one time, and I didn't really have
high rank.
Oh no, that's probably a different story. But low rank Kezu isn't that bad.
Yeah, no, high rank Kezu even gave me a little trouble in doing it by myself.
Yeah, be sure to make use of the elemental weaknesses and property gear and weapon sets, and you'll probably be fine.
Okay, all right, that's good to know.
And Jason, you've been playing.
As you can probably tell, Monster Hunter Rise. Still on it. I think I'm at Village Star Rank number 4. I've already unlocked the Rampage. I've met Magnamalo. So this is the thing. Intellectually, I know this is a good game, but feelings-wise, I'm like, this is fun, and I'm engaged, but it's not a home run for me. I
How
don't
are
know how to explain
How are
it.
you playing it?
Solo.
No, I mean controller wise.
Handheld.
Okay, try it. Do you have a pro controller?
I had, but it started drifting, so that's something else.
I only play with a pro
no.
controller. I can't do handheld anymore.
Well, the controls,
with
the
Monster
controls,
Hunter at least.
the controls aren't the issue for me. It's just something about how it all comes together. It just doesn't really elevate it to the next level for me. Not that it's bad. Not that I'm saying I think it's a 5 out of 10 or something like that. But it's really fun. I'm really enjoying it. I like the challenge the monsters present me. And figuring out, okay, what gear do I have to match against this, or what weapon is the one for me? And I've recently found that the hammer is really good to mess around with. So I'm really enjoying that. Yeah. But yeah, I also ran into a glitch a couple days ago where I was fighting Kezu, and then he jumped to the ceiling, and then tried to bomb me on the ground, and then he got stuck on the ground, and then eventually phased out of existence. And I'm like, okay, that was fun. No way to end the mission now, I guess. Like,
return from quest.
Yeah, I could return from quest, but it just the mission is still available. It's not cleared in the mission select screen. So that was kind of a bummer.
Yeah, that must be a really rare bug.
Yeah. Well, I've seen a few people complain about it in the comments section on YouTube. Like, this is like a super rare move Kezu does. But other than that, let's see. I've played a lot of Legend of Heroes: Trails of Cold Steel because you were going to be interviewing Sean Chiplock, and I kind of wanted to get a feel for his vocal talent. Like he's pretty solid as Revali, but it's like kind of limited to a slice of the game, and I wanted to really get a feel for him as a voice actor.
I don't know if you listened to the interview, but he was saying how he was saying that Breath of the Wild and Age of Calamity have two different voice directors, and how Age of Calamity had the best performances from everyone in the cast.
Oh wow. I
think it makes sense,
probably
given that Breath of the Wild, you're kind of more piecing together the story, and then like Age of Calamity is the story.
Yeah, it's also kind of action packed and elevated to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
So that probably drew out more from the performances. But yeah, Trails of Cold Steel, it's a really fun JRPG. Think Persona 3, 4, or 5, but more grounded. And what I really like about the storytelling is that how it weaves politics within the framework of the story. Politics is very boring, but it can have dramatic ramifications for everyone from top to bottom. And the people who are hurt first are usually the common folk. The people who have 9-to-5 jobs, who try to make ends meet. And that's woven through the story so well, and I really enjoy that. And they don't go over dramatic with it. I mean, it is still a JRPG, so there's still some level of over dramatization, but it's still grounded enough that you feel the world building, as it were. And it's really engaging to experience. Besides that, Disgaea RPG just launched on mobile. Played like the opening few minutes of it. It's fine. It's a turn-based RPG with a Disgaea skin. I think, okay, maybe I'm underselling it, but if you know Disgaea, then you know what you can expect from it. I think Disgaea is just not for me. I've tried, but it's just not for me. The thing about the RPG is that it's also so very busy. So when you're going through the user experience or the user interface, you kind of get overloaded and you don't know where to focus on. So that's kind of been my biggest issue or biggest gripe with Disgaea RPG. But I'm guessing if you're a diehard Disgaea fan, you'll probably find something to love there. And last but not least, I played the next gen slot machine, and fingers crossed, I might get an Xbox Series S by next week.
Oh, I thought that was like what you called Disgaea RPG in the doc. Like
that's the subtitle.
No. It's still a gacha game, sure, but it's not egregious in any sense.
Gen.
But I've been trying to get my hands on a next gen console for months now, since last year. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Xboxes, well, no, go ahead. I'll tell you after.
Okay.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
So early this morning, Walmart dropped their Xbox Series S restock, and I was like, okay, is this gonna be it? Because I was actually aiming for the PS5, but I figured, okay, I might as well get something out of all this stress and heartache. So I talked to the person who imports for me, and we figured something out. And if everything goes to plan, I might be the lucky owner of an Xbox Series S next week. For those who don't know, I'm not in the States, so I can't buy from every store. I'm really limited from a few stores, like Amazon.
Phil
mostly.
Spencer, give this man a Series X.
Fingers crossed.
Big Phil.
I'll do
us a favor.
tattoo. I'll get an Xbox tattoo to show my allegiance. What do you want, Big Phil?
That's worth
so
an
yeah. So that's been my week. What did you want to say about Xbox?
So remember how my Xbox? I don't remember if it hadn't happened yet on the last podcast. So I sent in my Xbox.
Okay.
It should be here. It should be back tomorrow. I'm guessing because it went so fast. I'm guessing they checked it. And they were like, "Oh yeah, this thing's busted," and then just like got another one.
Okay.
Because
so
I don't know if I told you about that, Kevin. So I had a Series X that I bought at launch. Games would not, only indie games and like Power Rangers Battle for the Grid would run on it properly. Anytime if I tried to play Yakuza 7 on disc, like not even 5 minutes, like right at the start screen, like shuts down. Maneater, like 2 minutes, shuts down. Nier Automata through Game Pass, I get through like the first part of the game, the shoot 'em up part, shuts down.
That's so
Banjo-Kazooie. I went for a while and then it shut down.
That's sad to hear.
And I tried every fix that was on this forum I found, and the fixes ranged from resetting the power to like doing like this Xbox Insider thing and making sure you have all the updates, to getting the plug for your Xbox, taking it out and just flipping it over, because that actually worked for some people.
What?
Wow.
Oh my god, it's sad to hear. I've had a couple of friends that have had kind of duds at launch when it comes to Xbox.
I mean, that's just the gamble with launch consoles. My PS5 is working fine, but the one problem is it's a PS5 with all the the news coming out.
Oh yeah, especially Well, I've had a few problems with my PS5 actually. Like it disconnects Wi-Fi. And I know my Wi-Fi is fine. Like I'll check on my phone, I'll check other devices, and it's totally okay. But for some reason, PS5 goes like, "Nah, there's no Wi-Fi. I can't find it." And then I have to restart the console, and then it's fine.
Mine did
I've had to do
crash
that a couple
once.
of times.
But other than that,
I
it's been
had a
fine.
few crashes. Yeah,
and everybody's like, "Oh, how come my PS5 always crashes when I put Spider-Man Remastered in rest mode?" And I'm like, first of all, save the game and stop.
Yeah, which is a sad state of affairs because Xbox has the rest mode, or not the rest mode, the game suspension, right?
And
Something
then quick resume. Yeah.
I don't know how well.
Oh
that
man,
works.
I'm gonna really enjoy that.
Yeah.
right. It
Again,
is
depends
wild
on
to
game.
me that PlayStation doesn't even have like a comparable feature. Like it seems like it chokes if you do things in rest mode.
Yeah,
Which is ridiculous to me.
I only download stuff in rest mode and it's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I think that's everything. So hopefully that Xbox is coming tomorrow. That's at the earliest.
That'd be awesome.
So next we're going to talk, this is the In From Japan J-List. We're talking about recent video game related entertainment news. So we got Godzilla Singular Point is premiering on Netflix world internationally in June. It's already on Japanese Netflix.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
But, it doesn't have subtitles. Or at least not in English.
Fair.
And I don't know if it's getting a dub or not. Hopefully it does. Usually they do, but we'll see.
It's a Netflix co-production, so I'm assuming it will.
Well, yeah. Godzilla also got a Kaiju on the Earth Legends board game adaptation. Arc-like
Is that
game.
a known series?
What?
Sorry, the Kaiju on the Earth Legends? Is that like an existing series and they're adding Godzilla to it?
No.
Huh.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Okay.
Arclight Games and Drosselmeyer have announced, this is by Kite Stenbuck for Siliconera, have announced that Godzilla will have a board game adaptation with the newly revealed Kaiju on the Earth Legends series. It is slated to appear between winter 2021 and spring 2022 in Japan. The multiplayer board game will have one player take the role of Godzilla while the rest play as humans. The game will task the Godzilla player to destroy Tokyo's landmarks and attack humans. The human players will work together to secure routes and evacuate citizens to neighboring prefectures while avoiding Godzilla's wrath. They better add some other kaiju to this game.
I mean, it is called Kaiju on the Earth Legends. We need more than Godzilla.
Yeah. So there's that. And there's also a new Godzilla theme park ride is coming to Seibuin Amusement Park in Japan. This is by, once again, by Kite Stenbuck for Siliconera. Godzilla the Ride is a major ride attraction that will put visitors in the middle of thrilling battles between kaiju monsters such as Godzilla and King Ghidorah. This will be the first time an official permanent Godzilla attraction is placed in an amusement park.
That's hard to believe. The first?
They're also going to have Astro Boy Zone. Or not Astro Boy. Osamu Tezuka Let's Go Leoland. It'll have Astro Boy's Moon Trip and a spinning ride attraction based on Jungle Emperor Leo.
Huh.
Fun fact.
That's cool.
He was voiced by Dan Green, who was Yugi and Yu-Gi-Oh! In the dub of the movie Jungle Emperor Leo, which is available on Prime Video.
Oh.
How do I know that? Because I watched it in college.
Okay.
And next, as I'm obviously a huge Tokusatsu fan here, a new Ultraman has been announced. This is from Ultraman Galaxy official website. Subaraya Productions will begin broadcasting their new TV series Ultraman Trigger on the TV Tokyo network starting from 9 a.m. on July 10th, 2021. Oh, that's Ultraman Day.
Huh. Didn't know he had a special day.
Yeah. I made a video for it last year.
Okay.
The new TV series Ultraman Trigger was conceived as an homage to Ultraman Tiga, the first of the three beloved late 90s TGG series, Ultraman Tiga, Ultraman Dyna, and Ultraman Gaia, and which celebrates its 25th broadcasting anniversary this year. Emulating the core Tiga story elements such as the legend of the ancient giant of light and the first ever use of type changes in the Ultraman series, Ultraman Trigger can be considered a new generation Tiga with a brand new story. The series welcomes Tokusatsu genre veteran Koichi Sakamoto as the main director, with the motto of wanting to make everyone smile at its core. That's Tokusatsu for you. Subaraya will deliver a series which will bring back the excitement felt by childhood fans of Tiga into the present day. So Tiga was the first Ultraman series I ever watched because it had a very short-lived 4Kids dub.
Ah, okay.
and the script they didn't know if they were going for comedy or not, so the script is very weird.
Now, the Anno movie they delayed, right?
Shin Ultraman?
Yeah. They delayed that one?
Yeah, indefinitely. They don't.
Why?
I think just due to the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
Things are not
that
going
was
as well in
probably it.
Japan as you might think. For in that respect.
Right.
Well, maybe they'll release it with Shin Kamen Rider as a double feature.
I don't think it's going to be delayed that far. I think they're almost done with Shin Ultraman.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
Because, Shin Ultraman already has a trailer. So I would think they are closer to being done. Like, Shin Kamen Rider, I don't think has started. I mean, they're probably in, pre-production, I would guess.
Well, usually when they announce a movie
Or right in the beginning of, I don't know how
a production of something, it's pretty safe to say that it's been in the works for a while. But
yeah,
now they just want to start generating press buzz for the hype. Yeah.
And then we have Netflix and Legendary's live-action Gundam movie director name. This is by Jenni Lada for Siliconera. Netflix is continuing its run of live-action adaptations of anime series and properties. As news about Legendary Entertainment Gundam movie surfaced, while details are slim at the moment, Jordan Vogt Roberts will direct the film. He will also act as a producer on it. He directed
Kong Skull Island and The Kings of Summer.
And he will also direct the upcoming Metal Gear movie. I don't think, much as I love the MonsterVerse, I don't know if he's the right person to direct a Gundam movie.
Interesting.
Well, controversy aside,
controversy aside, there's also that.
Voight Roberts is a pretty solid director who knows how to deliver dramatic beats, and with Kong Skull Island, he proved to be adept at action scenes and world building.
Even when it sometimes didn't make that much sense.
It's a giant monster movie. You'll run into that problem a lot. When it comes to Gundam, it's going to be interesting because my immediate thought is, will it be an adaptation or will it be like an original entry within a certain timeline? Because I think making a straight adaptation would be a disservice to the spirit of Gundam. And you could rather do something
Gundam the movie,
big.
Let's go. No, I can't do that in 2020. You can't do that in 2021.
But I feel like you could do so much more with the property if you had enough freedom to craft your own story and own world within whatever timeline you choose.
They got one hell of a writer for it, by the way. Brian K. Vaughan is writing the project. So that's Saga, Girls,
Ex Machina, I think.
Yep.
Saga, and, the comic.
Yeah, the comic. And he also did one of my favorite comic book series, Why the Last Man. He's a really talented guy.
So that will be interesting.
Yeah,
I think so. That's actually what's got me more excited about this project than the director, because I like the director, and he's obviously a huge fanboy of the material that he decides to adapt. I mean, he very, very much loves Metal Gear. He's done a bunch of video game commercials for the likes of Fortnite and Destiny 2.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's a fanboy, right? And it sounds like a lot of the issues that people had with Kong Skull Island was he even admitted it was a lot of studio interference to his project.
I remember reading that.
Right, but I wonder if you, and Netflix seems to give their creators kind of carte blanche, just here's a budget, just make sure we get views, right?
I don't know.
It might be a good mix.
I don't know how much. It's weird though, because you would think maybe Netflix gives them more freedom, but then I see something like Godzilla vs. Kong, which seem to have a good amount of freedom, but that director I know that's Warner Brothers and HBO Max, and that's a little different, but the director who directed Godzilla vs. Kong also directed that god-awful Death Note live-action Netflix movie.
He sure did.
So
Adam Wingard.
it's Was that him or
Look, we say it's a god awful Death Note movie, but the original creators of the Death Note manga were impressed by the movie. So who are we to decide?
Okay, sure, but that's what Akira Toriyama first said when Dragon Ball Evolution came out, and I think he backtracked on that years later. So
I don't know.
A healthy check for that one. We need something on the box.
any creative person will have their good output and their bad output. So let's hope.
He could do what the Dragon Ball Evolution writer did and just apologize for it later.
Okay.
I mean, fingers crossed.
I was like, I don't think any sentences started with, let's just do what the Dragon Ball Evolution writer did.
Look, let's just admit it's bad and move on.
Exactly.
A decade later.
Yeah, but I would love to see like the first like trailer, first anything. Like, what is the tone of this project? And like you guys are asking,
the one thing,
what is it? Mobile Suit Gundam?
Yeah.
Is it one of the others? Like, what is it? You know,
the one thing I think would be good is, since it's Legendary, robot designs. They already have, I don't know what Legendary does specifically, but they already have they already helped with like Pacific Rim and Godzilla vs. Kong. So giant robots are kind of their thing.
I think. I hope they don't go down the Transformers route where they kind of CGI it to hell and you can't make out any of the individual details.
No, I mean I don't think so. Gundams have to be a bit more colorful than that.
That is true, but I just hope they don't go down that route because they might want to have the instinct of, okay, it's a giant robot. We already had Pacific Rim, so let's maybe do something different.
They just paint one of the Jaegers from Pacific Rim, just paint it the like Gundam white and yellow. There, we're good.
Yeah. Done.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing that I don't think the Gundam design's so iconic. I would not mess with it.
Yeah.
That would be one of the things that I say, like, nah, it looks good. Just like make it look good in natural lighting, and you're good to go. Right? You don't need to reinvent the wheel for Gundam when it comes to like how a Gundam.
They have
looks.
Gundam statues in Japan that look just like the actual things.
Right. Like, there you go. You got a point of reference.
Yeah.
Just go for it, right?
And
we're
Gundam,
willing to suspend our disbelief for the Gundam design.
has been done in live action in Ready Player One. So
I thought we were going to talk about G Savior. Also
no,
G-Savior.
unfortunately,
we don't talk about that.
No, the real savior, Ready Player One.
Oh, jeez. And then the last piece of J-list news, Resident Evil Infinite Darkness will debut on Netflix in July 2021. This is by Dino for Siliconera. Capcom revealed that Resident Evil Infinite Darkness will come to Netflix in July 2021, though it withheld the exact release date. The news came up as part of the Resident Evil April 2021 showcase, which is the main topic we'll talk about later. We'll star Leon S. Kennedy and Claire Redfield teaming up again 2 years after the events of Resident Evil 4. Capcom also confirmed the president in the series will be the father of Resident Evil 4's Ashley Graham.
Oh my goodness!
So this is
more
CG.
Show. Yes, it is a series
rather than a movie like what's it called, Degeneration and the other one
and Damnation, and then the other one. The last one
there
was
a
Vendetta.
third one.
There's a third.
All the nations.
I have all of them on Blu-ray.
I've seen Degeneration. I don't remember if I've seen Damnation, and I definitely didn't see Vendetta.
They are what you expect. Like, if you see the trailer, you've seen the film, really. Like, the only reason you watch the film is because you will want to watch the trailer for another 90 minutes. That's the only reason.
They're somehow still better than the live-action ones.
Well, kind of, a little bit.
It's a lot of explosions, a lot of gun fu.
Gunkata from Equilibrium shows up. Yeah,
exactly.
For sure.
Yeah,
I love it. Chris drinks a lot by the third one. He drinks and then he fights monsters. That's his whole thing.
Amazing.
Because that's what we decided what he is.
You are selling me on this.
You should watch it. Hey, at least watch this series, right? They got the voice actors from Resident Evil Remake 2 to reprise their roles,
all right, cool.
Which is interesting. That they're playing older versions of themselves because they're basically like in their 20s.
Teaser
game,
for a later game, maybe?
maybe. Like, I hope it means something, right? Because Capcom, like, the one thing about them is that they are not loyal to any sort of set of voice actors when it comes to voicing these characters. They are willing to, like, we've gone through 15
For some
Chris's.
reason, they're loyal to Paul W.S. Anderson.
Because they can give that man $25 and he'll come back with 25 million. That's the only reason that they like him.
Well, yeah.
It's true. But this is interesting. I'll watch it. I have to watch it. Capcom is forcing me.
I have no choice.
I've got no choice. I gotta review it.
And then, all right, so we're moving on to recommended content real quick. So I'm just list out some interesting articles from the past week. So first we have review Balan Wonderworld should have been a movie by Jenni Lada for Siliconera. How and why to capture monsters, Monster Hunter Rise Wiki Guide by Casey DeFreitas for IGN. Godzilla vs. Kong's bonkers battles pull from the best Godzilla movies by Zach VandeZande for Polygon. Shinso is My Hero Academia's new best boy, an episode of the Anime News Network Aftershow with Jacki, Jing, Lynzee, Loveridge, and AJ / the cartoon Cipher. I don't think he's going to listen to this, but I could not find this dude's last name, and he was credited as the cartoon Cipher on Anime News Network. So
I should start doing that. I'm the KevinRedHerb Apocalypse. Like, no matter what, you can't find my real name.
And Shinzo is my favorite character in My Hero Academia, so I had to put that.
Very nice.
Neo: The World Ends With You details Shoka, Koriya, and Uzuki, replay and pin systems, enemies, and more by Sarumono for Gamatsu. I would have gone over that in news, but it's a lot of info. An ASCII Wada book, now in English, is a fitting tribute to the Nintendo CEO by Graham Russell for Siliconera. So I pre-ordered this book, and it's right here in front of me. I have not started it yet, but I am excited to read it.
Very awesome.
All right, so next we're gonna move on to the news rundown. So I'll let the bearer of bad news, our Shinigami Jason, take it away.
Yes, Mankai. Starting off with Jeff Keighley saying that surprising no one, San Diego Comic-Con has bailed on its in-person event over Thanksgiving weekend. It now plans to return with an in-person in San Diego in July 2022.
Good.
I mean, we said as much the last podcast where we were like, okay, first of all, why in a pandemic? Don't. But
well,
okay,
by then it should be a lot better, but still, like, the timing, not great.
Yeah. So, and it was also during Thanksgiving, and I did not like the idea of staff having to work during Thanksgiving when they should be with family. So yeah, that was my feeling on it. But moving on, we have the Capcom store will close in May 2021. This is by Jenni Lada for Siliconera. People will soon have... Wow, this is really, really hitting the spot for you. People will soon have one less place to purchase Capcom-related game-related goods. The company announced it will close the Capcom store and only take orders until May 1st, 2021. The announcement appeared on the main page of the store itself. It also noted that now items available there... It also noted that now... Okay, that's a weird copy. Items available there are limited. Okay, so the stock they have is limited. Got it. Shout out to Wario64. The Capcom store is also known for selling both games and merchandise, as well as some of its special offers and releases. For example, at the moment, its final special offers include 50% off Capcom Cross B-side stickers of a Resident Evil, Cerberus, and Maya Fey. If that says anything to anyone. There is no more merchandise left in that section. As for the game section, it only has $29.99 copies of RE2 for the Xbox One and waiting lists for the standard and deluxe editions of Monster Hunter Rise. So a bummer for the Capcom fans under all of us.
Yeah, dude. This is so sad.
I think an alternative or
I don't know if they're going to be doing an alternative, but my guess is that the return on investment of having your own dedicated store is not that great. So probably what you'll be seeing is these companies will be having like third-party publishers host these things, like I Am 8-Bit, Fan Gamer. Yeah.
Oh no, Capcom with more GameStop exclusivity, like the Monster Hunter amiibos.
There we go. That's what we want.
It's a possibility.
Capcom knew. Yeah, this is a sad state of affairs. But I like you're saying, I could imagine it just the reason they're shutting it down is because it's not profiting anymore in any sort of way. And I could imagine a few reasons. And it's like you need to have dedicated heads to do that, and you need to have somebody who's like pushing the store in advertising and such. But I imagine also COVID probably had a big impact because a lot of these things were getting imported from Japan, like the Monster Hunter figurines and stuff that you could buy. And I'm sure like with all the trade routes all kind of gummed up right now, that it just wasn't worth it anymore. But that sucks.
Definitely does. Next up is certain PS3 games no longer have access to update patches. This is by Kazuma Hashimoto for Siliconera. Certain PS3 games no longer have access to update patches as reported by users on Resetera. Users from the forum located a list of games that have been affected by this change through the website PSN Profiles. Changes include the inability to earn trophies, access online play, and in some cases, users cannot access DLC. Currently, the list includes a total of over 30 digital and physical games. Shout out to Resetera and PSN Profiles. Outside of certain add-ons or extra features becoming inaccessible or bugs being fixed, some update patches are potentially unavailable by region. However, some users on the Resetera forum are reporting that this instance is due to a database error. Due to this error, the downloaded PS3 games can't seem to access the update patch through the Sony servers. There's no indication whether or not this issue will be resolved anytime soon. This is definitely not a good look for Sony because they are collecting L's left and right on the internet these days. My guess is that they will soon rectify this because they previously said you will be able to re-download any of the older legacy content you own. So I don't think it would make much sense for them to cut off that ability permanently.
It's like every time Jim Ryan or Sony says something now, the opposite happens.
Basically. And I think a bigger issue is the CMOS battery thing, if I'm saying that correctly. Like the internal battery for the motherboard on these consoles. If that dies out, you can't connect to the servers anymore. And then thus you are unable to play any of the games you own. So that's not just an issue for PS3 and older. It's also going to be an issue for PS4 and PS5. And I'm guessing, as we've seen with Nintendo and their older consoles, eventually they will stop supporting and repairing said consoles. So pace yourself, or sail the high seas, if you will. Wink, wink. Next up, we have Final Fantasy XIV World Visit System suspended for a few days. This is by Jenni Lada for Siliconera. Don't panic if you find yourself trapped in your own homeworld in Final Fantasy XIV. The game is experiencing some issues following the patch 5.5 launch. As a result, Square Enix revealed the Final Fantasy XIV World Visit System will be out of commission for several days while it fixes things. Each world will have to have maintenance done to fix it. Aegis, Carbuncle, and Odin are already fixed. For people unaware of how the FF14 World Visit System works, it's a means of letting people interact with other people or players from homeworlds who are not on the same data center. So let's say someone has their character on the Odin homeworld on the Light data center. If you head to Gridania, Limsa Luminsa, or Ulda's Aetheryte, then you can choose the Visit Other World option to go to Lich, Phoenix, Shiva, Twintania, or Zodiark. So yeah, this was 2 days ago, so maybe they resolved it? Question mark.
Yeah, and if not, they'll be resolving it soon.
Yeah, I mean it's
Everything
not
seems
a
fine
good
over in Primal.
I mean, it's not a good look if you have a free trial going on and an open beta and this feature doesn't work. So, yeah.
That hasn't stopped other companies.
True. Next up, Pokemon Home June update will end support for some iOS devices. This is by Jenni Lada for Siliconera. The mobile versions of Pokemon Home offered everyone a warning on April 14th, 2021. Depending on your platform, you might lose access in a few months. A Pokemon Home June 2021 update is on the way, and when it appears, support for some Android and iOS firmware versions and iPhone models will be gone. People with iOS devices are the ones who will be hit hardest by this Pokemon Home update and lack of support. Both the iPhone 5S and iPhone 6, regardless of firmware, will be unable to play the game after the patch is released. If you have other phones or tablets and they still run iOS 9, iOS 10, or 11, they also won't work with the application. Anything after iOS 12 will be fine. So this also goes to show you that gaming on mobile phones isn't safe from, how do we call this? The digital death?
Sunsetting.
Sunsetting. Yeah, that's a more optimistic term. And it kind of forces you to upgrade frequently. I currently have an Android phone, which is the OnePlus 7T, and I'm also dreading the fact that one day it will be considered obsolete, and I'll have to upgrade, which I am not looking forward to because that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But yeah, alas. And last but not least, in the bad-ish news, Balan Wonderworld demo to be taken down.
No.
This is by Kazuma Hashimoto for Siliconera. The Balan Wonderworld demos will be taken down. The announcement came from the official Balan Wonderworld Twitter account, revealing that the console versions of the demo will be removed on April 14, 2021. Additionally, the Steam demo will be removed on April 15, 2021. The costumes that were distributed upon playing the demo will be distributed to the consumers at a later date. Shout out to 4Gamer. How players will be able to receive these costumes will also be disclosed at a later date. The official Twitter account mentions that it will disclose this information. Okay, this is just repeating information. Anyway, Balan Wonderworld demo essentially dead.
Keep that demo if you have it. Keep that on your PS4 or PS5. You can sell it. It's gonna be worth more than the PT units.
I mean, we joke about it, but it may as well be.
Imagine if you have both. My God.
Not if you. Then you're probably a millionaire. But I mean, this was probably the only saving grace for consumers, because by all accounts, the game is no bueno. So.
Not by all accounts. Bella Blondeau of, I don't know who she writes for now.
She is, I think, a community manager at Notaku.
Yeah, she's Notaku.
Yeah.
Right. That's not a. That's a development. Yeah, that's not a or a publisher or.
Yeah. So.
That's not. But yeah, she was a big fan of it.
She can come on the podcast and defend it anytime she's able to.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
By all other accounts, don't get this game. Download the demo now and see for yourself. And that's that. Next up, in the good news, or good-ish news.
In other news. That's what
Neo, The World Ends With You launches July 27th for PS4 and Switch this summer for PC. This is by Sal Romano for Gamatsu. Neo, The World Ends With You will launch for PS4 and Switch on July 27th, followed by PC via the Epic Games Store this summer, publisher Square Enix announced. The PC version is newly announced. In Japan, the game will cost 7,480 yen, which is about like $60. And a 21,000 yen Neo The World Ends With You. No. The World Ends With Bag edition will be available via the Square Enix eStore and 7net Shopping, which includes a copy of the game, mini soundtrack, art book, pin badge set in a cassette themed case. That's neat. Mr. Mew hanging pouch with snap ring and a record bag with graffiti pattern. My guess, it will be a Square Enix store exclusive in the West.
I could probably take down this second. Yeah, that's on that side. Yeah. Okay, you're right.
Yeah. So yeah,
I'm excited for this. I barely played the first one because I got stuck on the second boss back on the DS one, and he was very annoying.
I love how frustratingly difficult the game was, but in a fun way.
I thought about getting the Switch version.
I haven't played the Switch version yet. Not everyone liked it. But we'll see.
I heard controls are weird, but then a Twitter user and streamer Taco was telling me has been playing it, and he was saying I got used to the controls pretty fast. They're a little weird, but they're not that bad. I'm like, yeah, all right.
And this sequel's coming out soon. Is it a full-on sequel or?
It's a full-on sequel.
Nice.
And if you don't have time to, if you don't have time to play the first game, just watch the anime that comes out pretty soon-ish.
Yeah. No, it already came out. The first episode came out already, I think.
Also in the West or just in Japan?
I don't know. I know people have seen it.
I think only in Japan.
Watched it.
Okay.
All right, so another limited edition, one that we might not get. Monster Hunter Stories 2 limited edition include acrylic standee. This is by Kazuma Hashimoto for Siliconera once again. Pre-orders for a Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin limited edition are now available through the Capcom storefront. Not the Capcom store.
Oh no.
This is the Japan only. Several pre-order benefits will be available to consumers that choose to pre-order the game directly through Capcom. This includes an acrylic standee, a carrying case for the Nintendo Switch, and badges designed to look like Polaroid photographs. Consumers can purchase this limited edition for 13,200 yen or $120 US. Additionally, pre-order of the Monster Hunter Stories 2 limited edition through the Capcom store will net consumers a special postcard. A total of 3 postcards will be available to obtain. Each postcard will feature various scenes from the upcoming game. However, the postcards will be randomly distributed through pre-orders. Amiibo will only be in select retailers. We covered that before. The only thing, at first I was a little bummed out that we're not getting this, but then I was like, acrylic stands? I'm already getting the Amiibo. It's fine. And also, I'm only bummed out about the Switch case. I already have a Switch case, but it's not a Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin Switch case.
Well, I know, I'm looking at it. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
I could see somebody who doesn't know Monster Hunter Stories from far away be like, is that a Zelda Switch case? I was like, oh no, it's a...
That was my first thought. This is my Skyward Sword Switch case. Never mind.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You don't want Erroll hunting you down to give you the correct information.
I can sense I sense a disturbance.
Next up is Sonic Colors Remastered, listed in portfolio of German voiceovers.
Game of the year.
This is so weird.
Oh.
Yeah. This is by Sal Romano from Gamatsu. German voiceover studio Example has listed work on a Sonic Colors Remastered in its portfolio. It was posted on December 20th, 2020. Sonic Colors launched for Wii and DS in November 2010. The DS version is a separate game from the Wii version, designed to take advantage of the system's dual screen. So there's that. There's also an update. French retailer Sogameli, I hope I pronounced that right, or Sogamely, I think that's how you should pronounce it, has listed Sonic Colors Ultimate for PS4, Xbox One, and Switch with a 2021 release window and a €34.99 price point. It is unclear if the listing is a result of the Example discovery or if it was there beforehand. So there's that.
Remaster Sonic 06. Do it, cowards.
I think you mean remake.
No. Just remaster. Just change the lighting.
No, we want them to make money, not lose money.
I think you all mean the BioWare classic Sonic: The Dark Brotherhood.
Now I know some people who said that game is not actually that bad. It's just the music is awful.
Yes, that's correct. The music is heinous, but the game itself is solid. That was a DS one.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
Is Colors beloved? Is this like a goof?
No, a lot of
people
people
like
like
Colors?
a lot of people do like Colors.
It's Generations and Colors that were like the beloved ones in the modern era. Like legit beloved, not nostalgia
Ironically.
beloved as Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
Okay, but Sonic Adventure 2 Battle is good.
It's fun. I'll say that. Good is subjective. Fun is also subjective, but I'll rather say fun than good.
Both.
It could be both, yeah. Final Fantasy 14 letter from the producer live LXIV. I really should relearn my...
114?
Let's
I don't know what the L is, but the rest is 14 because it's there twice because of Final Fantasy 14.
I found it. It's 64.
Oh wow.
L is 64 or L is 60?
Well,
wait.
No, L is 50. XIV is 14. So
so it's adding
put them together.
up.
64.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't used Roman numerals a lot, but
Yeah,
Square
I don't
Enix
go past like X. Haven't gone past 16 because Final Fantasy.
They're keeping Roman numerals alive single-handedly. Square Enix stated the next Final Fantasy XIV presentation. The company announced that during the second day of the Digital Fan Festival 2021, the FF14 letter from the producer live LXIV will be held. It will appear at 7 p.m. Pacific Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time on May 15th, 2021.
I believe it's pronounced Lixiv. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, nope. In addition to the producer participation, main scenario writer Natsuki Ishikawa will be a special guest. Square Enix didn't offer direct links to the presentation as of yet, but past letters to the producer live streams appeared on Nico Nico, Twitch, and YouTube. So yeah, there's that. Next up, more Capcom news.
Oh no.
I wonder why. Capcom explained how its internal server got compromised. This is by Kite Stenbuck for Siliconera. Capcom published a new update on the ransomware attack inflicted against its internal server in November 2020. It added more details on how the attack happened, as well as announced countermeasures taken to prevent another attack in the future. The cyber attack route was traced back to an old VPN device that was kept for emergency backup. Although Capcom had shifted to newer VPN devices, an older unit was retained at the US office in case the communications network were to be overburdened by remote works due to the COVID-19 pandemic. If you click on the article, there'll be a handy graph to properly explain all of this. And for those thinking they used ExpressVPN or TunnelBear, VPN just means virtual private
network. Yeah.
Yeah, and big companies or tech companies uses them to secure very sensitive work. And it has nothing to do with streaming content from other regions.
They're not looking at Netflix.
Yeah. Well, maybe in their downtime, but who knows?
Yeah, but not at the
Next up is Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade Yuffie episode titled Episode Intermission. Square Enix just loves subtitles for some reason. Avalanche HQ characters Weiss and Yuffie abilities detailed. This is by Sal Romano for Gamatsu. Square Enix has released new information and screenshots for FF7 Remake Intergrade, confirming the title of the new episode starring Yuffie Kisaragi as Episode Intermission, as well as detailing its characters and combat. Yeah, you'll see the list of the voice cast if you click on the article.
Named Billy Bob.
Hey, listen, there have been worse names.
I just think it's funny. Yeah. Like what's the dude from Final Fantasy 15? Clive?
No, that's 16.
Or yeah, that's what I said. 16. Oh, is that not what I said? That's what I meant.
You said 15.
I meant 16.
Yeah. A notable thing
Sour
mentioned.
Cream and Clive.
during this info drop was that Weiss, well, I mean, if you saw the trailer, you'd know, but Weiss is also in the game as a boss, quote unquote. He's too powerful, so Shinra decided to cage him within a VR system. I don't know how that works, but it's Final Fantasy, so I'll believe it. He definitely has the spikiest hair so far in the game.
Yeah, he looks like he's going Ultra Instinct.
Yeah, so enjoy that when he makes his reintroduction. So yeah. Next up, we have new PS5 update ads. Additional 120 Hz support and HDR options. This is by Liana Ruppert for Game Informer. The first major PS5 update is officially live, an update we detailed in our earlier coverage yesterday, while the latest patch brings expanded storage options, improvements to the mobile app, and more social features. It also includes a few additional surprises as well. So additional HDMI support, 120 Hz as previously mentioned, and new HDR settings. So if you want to really know what was said or the further details of the update, click on the article. Liana does excellent work over at Game Informer, so please support her endeavors.
I updated my PS5, right? And that was fine. And then I tried to update the controller, and then it ran into an error, and then that controller update didn't pop up again. But the little charging symbol for the controller on screen changed, and I don't like this new, because you know how before it will tell you like how much battery is charged, like with the bars. Now when it's charging, it just tells you it's charging. I don't know if it's just a glitch with my PS5 from that controller not properly updating or what. Or if it's, but it doesn't. It only shows you how many bars the battery life has if you take it out.
Okay.
So I'm like,
That's
I
weird.
don't like that.
I like that they fixed the parties thing, because like when you go to your game base on PS5, it would just have like your parties mixed with your friends in a weird way.
Yeah.
Now they actually have like 2 tabs for it. And I don't understand their idea for parties, which is like they're these permanent things that stay on a list rather than just like creating a new one and inviting people.
Yeah, it's like you
in
had
the old days.
You had it fine before.
Yeah. Like that's not something you need to make any more for at all. But sure.
It feels like they just wanted to have a total overhauled user experience for no particular reason other than to have a new user experience.
Yeah, basically new for new's sake, and it didn't feel like there's very much actual, feedback that goes into it, because people are still struggling with the home button change, where you have to press in order to find the start button, or I guess you should say the power button instead of hold, the little reversal.
Yeah, it's things like this that make the flack that Xbox got for not really overhauling their stuff seem really silly. Yeah, because if it works, it works. Don't change it.
For sure.
Yeah. All right. Next story. I'm really excited to talk about this.
I know you are.
Street Fighter crossover coming to Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. Ryu and Chun-Li become Rangers in upcoming DLC. This is by Joe Screbbles for IGN. Power Rangers Battle for the Grid is getting a Street Fighter crossover with Ryu and Chun-Li transformed into the Crimson Hawk Ranger and Blue Phoenix Ranger respectively. Announced exclusively with IGN, that I did not know. A Street Fighter DLC pack will come to PC, PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and Stadia on May 25th, priced at $12.50 USD. The pack will include both fighters and exclusive skins to be revealed at a later date. Ryu and Chun-Li will also be sold separately for $5.99 each. Ryu and Chun-Li each become their own Power Ranger in the pack, with their designs originally added to the mobile game Power Rangers Legacy Wars, and they've been added to Battle for the Grid by fan request. Despite the older designs, they should bring some new ideas to the tag team fighter. The entire 2D fighting genre can be traced back to Chun-Li and Ryu, among others, making such a splash in Street Fighter 2, says Rose Silvestri from the N-Way community and marketing team. Tag fighters in particular owe a spiritual debt to Capcom. Marvel crossovers of the 90s, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, and Marvel vs. Capcom. While Power Rangers in Battle for the Grid take the bulk of their inspiration from other mediums, the shows, movies, and comics, Ryu and Chun-Li have decades of classic fighting game appearances to draw from. And there's just a bunch of other extra stuff. I'll read that later for myself. So I was like, so I have this game for PS4 because I was gonna get a physical copy eventually. And I have like the whatever edition, but it doesn't have all the characters. And I was like, oops, it only has like 2 additional characters. And I was thinking, well, I already bought the game. How am I going to like, do I just buy all these things like separately or what? Well, here's the thing. Power Rangers Battle for the Grid Super Edition details shared by Jenni Lada for Siliconera. There's more information on Power Rangers Battle for the Grid Super Edition, the latest complete version of the game due out in May 2021. The big package will end up costing $49.99 should someone not have any elements of the game yet. However, there will also be options for people who already have some versions, and we confirmed it will have upgrade kits for platforms as well. As a reminder, there are currently 2 ways to get started with Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. One is to get the base version of the game, which is $19.99. Though until April 15th, 2021, it is temporarily $12.99 via Steam. There's also a collector's edition. It gives people the main game and the Season 1 pass items like Gold Zeo Ranger, Lord Zed, and Time Force Pink Ranger. That version is normally $29.99, though it too is on sale through Steam for 35% off until April 5th, until today. Bringing the price down to $19.49. It's also on Game Pass.
Okay, yeah.
The regular version is on Game Pass. While the upgrade kits for Power Rangers Battle for the Grid Super Edition were mentioned, Enway didn't explain how they will be priced or if there will be multiple options. For reference, this edition would include everything in the Collector's Edition and the Season 2 Pass characters Daishi, SPD Shadow Ranger, and Time Force Quantum Ranger, who is played by... Oh no, what's his name? Dan Southworth. Dan Southworth, who also is the voice of Virgil in Devil May Cry.
Hey, what do you know?
And Season 3 past characters.
Which series was he?
Which Time Force Quantum Ranger?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And then Johnny
I thought I heard
former
SPD.
Power Ranger is Nero. Yeah, SPD
and
Shadow Ranger. No.
That's
and
right.
Ichigo Kurosaki from Bleach.
A lot of things.
Yeah, and a lot of things. Oh, also Renton Thurston from Eureka 7. Surprisingly. So all my favorites come together under this one actor.
Yeah.
For some reason. Huh.
Scorpina and Super Samurai Red Ranger. The Street Fighter pack would be there. All right, so that's exciting. I'm definitely gonna do an IFJ arcade video about that when that comes out, showing off the gameplay.
That's super cool. I like these designs a lot. I didn't know that they were actually there's precedent to these Street Fighter designs.
Legacy Wars was a pretty big mobile game. Yeah, because Legacy Wars was it was a fighting game with a bunch of Power Rangers characters, but it was a mobile game. So people were like, oh, why can't they just put this on console or make a console version of this? And then we got Battle for the Grid, which takes the storyline, the Shattered Grid storyline from the comic book and adapts it. It does things a little differently. But if you're a Power Rangers fan, I also highly recommend reading Shattered Grid.
I like Shattered Grid a lot. I like the tone of it. I like how they modernize it without completely rebooting it. Oh, yeah. That's why I really like this game, because it has some of the Dark Rangers from the series as well. Yeah. Which is so sick. But yeah, the full edition, I'm excited for that, because I only have like the Game Pass edition, so you don't get any of the other extra characters through that. You got to buy them piecemeal. Yeah. So I can just wait for this, and I even have Ryu and Chun-Li. All right, I'm into that. I like that a lot.
I hope they put in more of the comic original characters. Because they introduced a lot more.
I mean, give it time.
Let me find a Zordon, because that's actually a thing in the comics now. Well, he's not a Power Ranger, but
they might want to do a sequel to incorporate the new characters.
Yeah, I could see that.
But yeah. Zordon was a Power Ranger in the live action movie.
Yeah, but that would be what is it called? What is he called? Cetacean. in the mobile, or no, it was in Battle for the Grid, I think. Also, he's called like those ones are called cetacean, not cetacean.
I'll look it up. Don't struggle to come up with something.
It was something weird.
Okay. Next up, we have Perfect World Games announces Persona 5 mobile game Codename X. This is by Sal Romano for Gamatsu. Perfect World Games has announced Codename X, the first mobile entry in a famous Japanese console game series, quote unquote, that has sold over 10 million copies worldwide. The series is unnamed at the moment, but given the aesthetic, music...
Blue Ranger. Sorry.
Oh, okay. As I was saying, the series is unnamed at the moment, but given the aesthetic, music, and the file names for the game's artwork being P5, the series in question is Persona 5 specifically. Update: the binary code that appeared in the trailer also translates to Persona 5X. And update 2, Perfect World Games has confirmed Codename X is based on the Persona series. So yeah, that's interesting. It's a very neat trailer. I highly recommend you watch it. Might end up being a very fun mobile experience because mobile phones factor in heavily within Persona 5. So it's kind of a perfect combination. But we'll see how the gameplay goes. Next up, a name we haven't mentioned in a while, Ni no Kuni Cross Worlds pre-registration now available in Japan, South Korea, and Taiwan. This is by Sal Romano for Gamatsu. Pre-registration for Ni no Kuni Cross Worlds is now available for iOS via the App Store and Android via Google Play in Japan, South Korea, and Taiwan, as well as via the official website Level 5 and Netmarble announced. All users who pre-register will receive the familiar Byaku, and users who invite friends after pre-registering will also have the chance to receive in-game items Udada's hat. Okay. If 5 friends complete a mission in the game after service begins. Okay, so there are conditions. So yeah. Level 5 still lives in some interesting ways.
Is this like a multiplayer version of these games?
Yeah, it's essentially a mobile MMO set within a Ni no Kuni world. I don't know if it's any of the previously established worlds, but it's something.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we way back in the day we had our like mini review of the Ni no Kuni movie that was on Netflix,
which is not good.
About that one.
It's not.
It
wasn't great.
Well, that's unfortunate.
The best Ni no Kuni is the first game.
Yeah, if you're hankering for Ni no Kuni content, just play the games.
Yeah. Next we have on-demand printing for new Pokemon Snap comes to Japanese convenience stores. This is by Brian Ashcraft for Kotaku. Starting April 30th, Lawson convenience stores across Japan will be offering a new Pokemon Snap printing service. That way players can print out their favorite photographs. As the official site explains, the game data needs to be transferred to a smart device or PC. Then users access the special new Pokemon Snap site on Lawson's printing service and receive a number. They take that number to their local Lawson and can print out their photos on stickers and photo paper. Why can't we have this? Put it at your local 7-Eleven.
Start a change.org petition, maybe next year then?
I've got to go down to the Circle K and print my Pokemon Snap pictures, okay?
I mean, do you remember this? Do you remember being able to do that as a kid at the Blockbuster?
So I only ever heard about it because my dad preferred Hollywood Video, so I never went to Blockbuster.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Hollywood Video was fine. But I also didn't have. Cool. I didn't have a Nintendo 64 either, so it didn't really matter.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, but I remember that being the thing when the first game came out, and it's like, print your pictures. Like, okay, I guess so. Yeah, my dad didn't support this idea. He was like, you don't want to keep those.
But Dad, they could be worth millions someday.
Exactly, a gold mine.
And he was like, lol, no.
Oh, I told the story. I'll tell you it after because I already told it on the podcast. My Pokemon card story.
Okay.
I do need to know. Thank you.
Jason, were you taking this next one?
I'll take it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. E3 2021 will be partnering with IGN Summer of Gaming 2021. This is by IGN staff for IGN. Duh, I guess. IGN Summer of Gaming is returning this year, and E3 2021 will be a part of the event. Just like last year, our summertime event will include exclusives, trailers, gameplay demos, and developer interviews. But unlike last year, we're partnering with E3 to bring the world's most famous games event into our lineup. That means from Saturday, June 12th to Tuesday, June 15th, you'll be able to check out the first ever all-digital E3 right here on IGN. Okay, put that in my demo reel if I ever, submit an application for IGN. Wink, wink. Next up is Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony will release on mobile devices. This is by Stephanie Liu for Siliconera. The mobile version of Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony is in development for the Danganronpa 10th anniversary celebration. It will run on iOS and Android devices, similar to the first two games and received ports. Similar to the first two games that received ports in 2020. Okay. Guys, do you need me to go through your copy? Because... Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony, our anniversary edition, will have a new UI for smooth mobile gameplay as well as an enhanced gallery feature. It will cost $15.99 US. New additions to the Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony include the lie function, which allows you to lie about evidence or testimonies in trials, as well as 2 additional mini games. The first is the ultimate talent.
Oh no, continue.
The first is the Ultimate Talent Development Plan board game where you raise characters in an alternate universe. You can then use them to play the dungeon crawler Despair Dungeon Monokuma's test. A new feature included in V3 is a slightly enhanced gallery. Okay. While the original game allowed players to view past Bond level events, the option to view sprites or hear characters' voices was absent until now. So yeah, good news for Danganronpa.
Good news for the Danganronpa. Yeah, this has been recommended to me, the series, for a while now. I just have not gotten around to them, but I always see them on sale. But yeah, cool to mobile for everyone.
Get them?
My question is...
Yeah.
I think they're going to put the mobile ones all together and put a collection on Switch.
That is highly possible. The only thing I'd say about Danganronpa is that, as with most detective visual novel games, some things just don't make sense. And if you ever run into that problem, just use a guide, because the story goes places you can't even imagine. And yeah, that's all I'll say.
Despair. Okay. Oh, yes, and Sean Chiplock voices character Monotaro in V3.
Oh, yeah. Very nice.
So everything we do comes full circle this episode.
Next up, Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania rated in Australia. A new Super Monkey Ball surfaces. This is by Saruman for Gamatsu. Australian classification has rated the unannounced Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. The latest entry in the Super Monkey Ball series to be released was Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz HD, which is a remastered of an older game, which launched for PS4, Xbox One, and Switch in October 2019, followed by PC via Steam in December 2019. So I am excited for a brand new Monkey Ball game. Not a big fan of Banana Blitz. I like the one before it a lot better. Super Monkey Ball Adventure, I want to say it's called. I haven't played it in a very long time.
All right.
I have unfortunately never played a Super Monkey or Ball game. I'm sorry.
Wait, you haven't played baseball?
No, I've seen it. Well, I've only played Yakuza. I've only played baseball in Yakuza.
The batting cage.
Oh wow.
There you go. Yeah.
I think I only played the Game Boy Advance Super Monkey Ball games.
Oh right, I forgot they had those.
There are a bunch of them.
Yeah.
All right. Report. World's End Club demo to release soon. This is by Josh Tolentino for Siliconera. World's End Club could be getting a playable demo soon. The new adventure game from Tukio Games may give potential players a taster ahead of its planned May 2021 release via a trial edition. World's End Club, which was renamed from Death March Club, follows a dozen elementary school students who formed the Go-Getters Club at their school. Following a bus accident, the kids are trapped in a weird underwater amusement park. Before long, a mysterious inhuman figure appears to force them to play the Fate game. The game involves giving each member of the club a bracelet, a special ability, and a task to complete. Among Us? The kids...
Basically.
Among Us Zero Escape? Zero Escape? No Escape Among Us? The kids will have to cooperate and help or hinder each other as they get things done on the way to the end. World's End Club also received a demo of sorts exclusive to Apple Arcade subscribers. The game launched on Apple Arcade in 2020, but wasn't entirely finished. It ended on a cliffhanger. Writer Kotaro Uchikoshi, also creator of Zero Escape, took to Twitter to assure players that Part 2 of the story will be released in 2021 and that the Nintendo Switch edition will be a complete single release. Will release on Nintendo Switch on May 28th, 2021.
Are they ever finishing the Apple Arcade edition? Or
I'm guessing it's just going to come out the same day as Switch.
Okay. Yeah, I would imagine, right?
It didn't
Could you imagine like they just
like,
never finish it?
And like the platform that came out first. Why didn't you even?
That was a test. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, next up is Konami announces roguelite hack and slash action game Getsu Fumaden Undying Moon for Switch PC. This is by Sal Romano for Gamatsu. Konami has announced roguelite hack and slash game action game Getsu Fumaden Undying Moon for Switch. Okay. It will launch first in early access for PC via Steam on May 13th, followed by Switch in 2022 alongside its full release. You can click on the article for a full breakdown on the game. So, it looks neat.
It looks so. In the Japanese Direct, they went over the whole history of this series.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, it used to be a NES game.
Yeah,
NES game.
And this is the first time it's ever being localized. And if you buy this one, you also get the original.
Ooh, nice.
That's really cool.
I saw some people wonder why Konami is considered an indie game.
Well, this was from their partnership they announced a while ago when they were looking for indie devs.
Yeah, I think it was Jeff Grubb or someone else who said, essentially, there are no studios under Konami and they outsource everything to smaller outfits.
Yeah.
So by that definition, it's probably indie.
And
they're also just the publisher. They're not.
Yeah.
They're apparently not directly involved with like development otherwise. Which is good. No pachinko mechanics.
Still big business for them. Still big business. But yeah, this game looked really cool. I've never played the original, but obviously it didn't get localized, I imagine.
Give me a secret Blue Eyes White Dragon boss. And we're good.
There you go. That's all we asked for. And the Konami code better work.
Yeah, that too. And our last story before we get to the main topic, although this is a good transition to it, the House of the Dead remake confirmed for Switch. Debut trailer and screenshots. First look at the Forever Entertainment published remake. This is by Sarumato for Gamatsu once again. Publisher Forever Entertainment and developer Megapixel Studio have released the debut trailer and screenshots for the House of the Dead remake, as well as confirmed Switch as one of its platforms. Here's an overview of the game via Forever Entertainment. The House of the Dead remake is a remade version of the game introduced in 1997 in the arcade platform. A classic arcade rail shooter receives a whole new entourage and gameplay changes to suit modern gaming standards. Key features include hordes of the undead monstrosities in a fast-paced rail shooter, true to the original gameplay, well-known arcade classic with modern graphics and controls, multiple endings, up to 2 players. It's only been confirmed for Switch so far. But so
interesting.
So what's interesting is So I wrote about this a while back. I want to say last year for GameSkinny, because there were rumors going around, like European retailer leaked that House of the Dead, not just House of the Dead 1, but that House of the Dead 1 and 2 were both getting remade by Megapixel. So I'm finding the article. This is from... Oh man, what happened to the resolution here?
Old internet compresses itself.
Yeah, that's weird. It looked fine the other day. It said, claim the remakes would be developed by Megapixel Studio, contain updated graphics, and that a look at the first game would be revealed sometime in the near future. I'm trying to find the date for when I wrote this, but I can't find it.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that being like, there was no footage or anything, but there was just like the news by itself. So I guess this is and I was confused too. I was like, so is this both games combined into one? It just says House of the Dead Remake, and it looks like
just
it's
mainly
the first game. Yeah, but that's cool.
I wrote it
definitely
October 2019.
October 2019. Yeah, so this was announced a while ago. They've been working on this for a little bit.
Well, this was the first time it was announced.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But it was leaked a while ago.
It looks on the lower budget side, but then again,
it's House
of the Dead. Yeah, it's House of the Dead, and if you remember, that's like, if you're burning through quarters, that's like a 2-hour game at best. Probably a little less than that, because it's an arcade.
I played a ton of House of the Dead 2 and 3 Return on Wii, and I should have gotten House of the Dead Overkill. I never did. And then House of the Dead 4 was only for PlayStation Move, so I never got that. Was it for the Move? Yeah.
Okay.
And then Scarlet Dawn, they're only in Dave & Buster's at the moment for us. So that's not great. They do have Typing of the Dead Overkill on Steam, so I might pick that up.
At least that's something.
Yeah, that's a great one though.
There was one that was like one of the Steam reviews was like, before I played this game, I used to type with my face.
I have so many questions. Better not answer them, but
and now I work at a law firm.
God, but yeah, hopefully they do the series justice. I mean, it feels like especially if it's coming out for the Switch, like you would need a peripheral to like make up for that light gun.
The Joy-Cons can. I mean, this is essentially a cursor, and the Joy-Con can work as a cursor.
Feel the same, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it should work fine.
I remember Overkill was pretty decent, and I like that it had its own original story and a few more, deeper mechanics for as much as you can add depth to an arcade rail shooter. But yeah, I'm in for the classic feel too. It's fine.
And I'm still waiting for them to remake our main topic is Resident Evil 8 and the showcase that was today. But
I think we're going on to the main topic now.
Yes, but before we go away from House of the Dead, because it's another series of light gun Wii games.
Do you want to do this, Erroll, or should I?
Wait, hold on. Because I'm still talking about House of the Dead and how I want Resident... Oh.
How you want?
Sorry, I don't know what happened there.
Uh-huh.
I have
no idea. Man?
Yeah, what do you want? What are you buying?
I wanted I was gonna say Resident Evil, Dark Side Chronicles and Umbrella Chronicles need ports. Well, I guess to the Switch now, since House of the Dead. If House of the Dead can work, the two Resident Evil light gun games should be ported.
I'm guessing
it's true.
I'm guessing Capcom is paying close attention to whatever happens on the Switch these days. So if it still makes money, there is a possibility.
I'll buy it. It'll take my money.
I'd rebuy those in a second. I think Darkside's probably a bit better than Umbrella Chronicles.
I've only played them once, so I don't know.
I played them on the Wii, and I played the I guess the HD version they did for PS3.
Oh, right, they did do PS3.
Yeah, another collection that we'll lose out on when the PS3 store goes down, by the way.
Oh, wow. That is true.
Because that game is super out of print. I don't remember physical copies of that game. But yeah, I would love that, though.
So they showed Resident Evil 8 new stuff. You can cook food in it now.
My favorite feature.
Yeah.
At least. Yeah.
There better be like a certain area where you cook food. It plays the Monster Hunter meat cooking music.
Oh, that would be perfect. Perfect crossover synergy right there.
If they added a monster and kind of spin it into a Dino Crisis level, that would be great.
No, that's when Capcom stops. The most we're ever gonna get is the Spotify soundtracks. Yeah, that's all Dino Crisis for the next 20 years. Yeah. So this is their second showcase, right? This is the second one they did for Resident Evil. I remember they did one last year, right before the demo. Yeah. Okay. This is interesting.
And now there's even more demos.
Yeah, like it's inarguably like their biggest franchise now. Like even though Monster Hunter World itself is like their best selling, like Ari is still like this king of 25 years.
Yeah, so I think Resident Evil has a bit of a bigger audience.
Yeah, like I sometimes I'm surprised how many people are really into it. Oh yeah, definitely internationally, right? Like it just kind of resonates. I guess its brand of horror is out there. But I like this. So did you watch the showcase today, Erroll?
Yeah, I did. I mean, no, I didn't. I skipped it. I thought it was terrible. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. I got you.
I did.
Yeah, but I know you avoid the survival horror games, or do you have like a passing interest in them?
They're just, I mean, like I've said before, I've played, my thing, I like campy horror games or light gun games. So House of the Dead and those Resident Evil Chronicles games are more of my thing. And then I loved playing Resident Evil 5 back in like early high school. And that was the first Resident Evil I ever played. And then Resident Evil 6 was Resident Evil 6.
It exists. The heroic Resident Evil 6.
And then I tried going back to the older ones, and just they're kind of just not for me. I did play a bit of Revelations, and like the original release of Revelations on 3DS. And
I had that one too. Yeah.
I didn't hate it, but I got stuck at a certain point, and I was like, maybe I should retry the newer version at some point, because I did enjoy it until I got stuck.
Yeah, they ported that one over too.
Yeah.
Revelations 1 I think is on PS4. You can download. Yeah, right now. It's pretty good. I like it actually, especially if you're into more like the campier Resident Evil. That probably fits the bill. But yeah, they've definitely gone back to a harder style of horror. At least with part 7 especially, changing the perspective of it, going back to like, kind of a mansion-y feel, like classic style. So I don't know if it fits the bill for campy. Some people would still say it's got a bit of a camp, but I think it look at its subject matter that it plays with, basically like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Evil Dead style horror. So I don't know if it'd be up your alley.
Evil Dead. Yeah, I like the Evil Dead show.
I love Evil Dead.
I think you'd probably like 5 and 6 better, and maybe 4, because 4 is kind of where the shift started.
I mean, I said I played 5. 5 is what I played the most.
Yeah, I know. So I'm
tried
guessing
4. I wasn't that into it. Maybe I should try that one again in VR. I don't have an Oculus.
There we go.
No, but it. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna move to the actual news story.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. Go ahead.
So, Resident Evil Village time-limited demo and Mercenaries mode announced. PlayStation users get early access this month. This is by Saruman for Gamatsu. Capcom will release a time-limited demo for Resident Evil Village for PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 from April 17th at 5 p.m. PST to April 18th at 1 a.m. PST, and another demo on April 24th at 5 p.m. PST to April 25th at 1 a.m. PST, followed by a release for all platforms for May 1st at 5 p.m. PT to May 2nd at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Preload for the early access PlayStation demo is available now. Players will have a total of 60 minutes to explore both the village and castle hours during... Wait, what? A village and castle during the hours of the time-limited demo. He messed that up. You will be free to spend 1 full hour across both stages, or choose which one you want to play. And there are just a bunch of details. But then there's also the Mercenaries mode, which I know you're excited about, Kevin.
I'm very excited about the Mercenaries. This is something I've been wanting for a long time, for them to revisit Mercenaries, which started with Resident Evil 3. Thought it was a missed opportunity that the remake didn't even have the mode. And then I think more people know it from RE4, the original RE4 mode. But sometimes that ends up being like a co-op mode. This game definitely doesn't have two-player.
It didn't look like it did.
Yeah, I don't think it does, which is sad, because I think that you could build on that for sure. Yeah. You know, especially since there's like they were showing off there's a shop that you can buy weapons from and upgrades.
Yeah, there's
power-ups.
No, it's the previous merchant dubbed the Duke, who allows players to purchase and sell items, buy recipes, and crafting. Oh wait, no, that's Mercenaries. Now players have the options to buy and upgrade weapons from the Duke and acquire abilities that enhance weapons and physical capabilities to offer more depth and replay value. This should be co-op.
Yeah, I know. I'm into it. I feel like the campaign's going to be finite. I hear it's going to be pretty long compared to Resident Evils, which are historically pretty short. But this is a great. Mercenaries has always been a great reason to come back and be like, hey, I'm going to enjoy these mechanics, because Capcom obviously put a lot of effort to making it feel good and make it replayable. So yeah. I enjoy that. So it should be co-op. I wish it was, but who's to say that they don't support it down the line? Yeah, because even the last couple of games got a little Resident Evil 7 for sure got bonus DLC, expansions and whatnot. So I would love to see that rounded out a little bit. But the thing I'm confused about is how they're releasing this demo, right? This time capsule demo. I think it's almost coming out the week of the game release, and you can play 30 minutes of each side of it, and you have 8 hours to play it. It's really interesting, this release strategy. Yeah. Because they didn't do anything like this with the Maiden demo that they released already. I wonder what the impetus is like. Do they feel like it's so spoiler heavy that they need to just get it off of the internet as quick as possible? That's weird.
It's probably that, and kind of generating hype by scarcity being a factor. I think they also did the same with the original demo for RE7, which was limited.
That one was actually a different use case where they kept on adding to that demo. The beginning
that is demo. True. I think it at first it was limited, and then when they brought it back, they added more content. I might be misremembering, but I definitely think it's probably just them trying to drive hype and not so much them being spoiler phobic. Yeah, but that could also be the case. But who knows?
Maybe for me, I'm just like, hey, here's a demo, it's out as long as possible. Please buy our game. Yeah, this is interesting that
we accidentally put dinosaurs in this demo.
Oh shit!
We have to take it down. We don't want them hitting for making the new Dino Crisis.
Their entire roadmap is hidden in that demo by accident. Dragon's Dogma 2, really?
Oh. God Hand remaster.
Yeah. What's that? Oh, that would be sick.
They're just sneaking every other franchise into it.
God, I would love that. That's what they could do with Monster Hunter. That's what World was becoming for a little while. It became this Capcom crossover event, and I was like, they could just keep doing this.
How do they not do Dino Crisis with that one?
It blows my mind every single time. Either let me play as Regina or just have a T-Rex, a normal T-Rex. You already have the wireframes for it.
You have the Anjanath, and it could just be like a subspecies of that, because that's literally a fire-breathing T-Rex with the weird nose thing.
Capcom, listen to these two people. They know what they want.
We know what we want, and also we will run the Capcom store for you. I will get in there. I'll put some elbow grease into it, and we'll make some money together.
Yeah.
But right. So, yeah. Sorry, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna do the next story thing. Dead by Daylight Resident Evil chapter launches in June. More information to be announced on May 25th. This is by Saruman for Gamatsu once again. Dead by Daylight will introduce a Resident Evil chapter in June. Developer Behavior Interactive announced in partnership with Capcom. We are excited to be working with the legendary studio Capcom to create the next Dead by Daylight chapter, said Dead by Daylight creative director Dave Richard in a press release. It is an honor and an absolute joy to welcome the original survival horror game Resident Evil in the Entities universe. The result is fantastic and will surprise new players and veterans alike. Players can expect a chapter packed with iconic content and novel ways to sacrifice or survive inspired by the renowned franchise. Game director Matthew Coate added, "This is such an awesome new addition to our universe. If you had told us 5 years ago when we launched that one day we would be adding characters from the legendary Resident Evil world into our game, none of us would have believed you. We are also very grateful to Capcom for everything they've done over the years to bring horror to the world of video games. And today we get to bring these icons into Dead by Daylight. It is an incredibly proud moment for us." Further information will be announced during the Dead by Daylight 5th anniversary livestream on May 25th, which will be streamed on Twitch. Dead by Daylight's also on Game Pass. It doesn't have the DLC, but it's on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Nice.
This game is still going strong.
It is wild. It is what. So we have Silent Hill and Resident Evil under the same roof, basically. Like it's Halloween Horror Nights, the video game, essentially here. I think it's cool. I have a tougher time with like the asymmetrical multiplayer games because I always feel like there's never an ecosystem where playing as the killer feels as good as playing as survivor and vice versa. There's always an experience that's like not as fun. And you have to spend more time on. And that's what kind of like throws me off of those games. I don't know how much you like them.
I haven't played them, but I've been interested in them. But I haven't played them because they're missing one very important horror icon as one of the playable killers.
Which one's that?
Jason, can you guess? I want to see if you can get this.
No. Give me more hints, then maybe I can guess it.
Small.
Leprechaun?
Yes. You hit it right on the head. Warwick Davis, Leprechaun, or the other guy from Leprechaun Returns. I don't know who the actor who played that one.
Horror icon, small. I don't know why I jumped for Leprechaun. It could have been Chucky from Child's Play.
I know. I'm so surprised
true.
you jumped to Leprechaun first try.
Why? That was the first in my mind too.
Yeah.
I think it's because
solidarity.
Well, there's that, and I saw the name Leprechaun, like the title of the movie, pop up in my timeline randomly a few times the last few weeks. So maybe that's why. I don't know, but I'm happy I got it right.
It's great. Well, do we do Leprechaun in space, kind of like to honor the movies, or are we just keeping it? Keeping it normal.
You could do. I would want Warwick Davis Leprechaun. Just from the first movie, I guess.
Okay.
Because I know they did Leprechaun Returns recently, and
with the guy from the WWE.
What?
It was the guy from the WWE.
No, that was Leprechaun Origins. We don't talk about that one.
Oh,
Leprechaun Returns is like a direct sequel to the first movie that ignores all the other ones.
I love
kind of like Halloween.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So but they didn't get Warwick Davis back for that one. But yeah, that would just be an interesting. I want him in Dead by Daylight.
And that's the deal breaker. Like you'll pick up Dead by Daylight if we get
I'll try it on Game Pass regardless. But
like Warwick Davis or bust.
Right.
Well, Warwick Davis, I think, said he didn't want to do roles like scary roles like that, anymore, because like fair. He had a kid a while back.
I think we can convince him though.
But you can always get the other guy, the guy from Leprechaun Returns. That one.
Like your kid is
he
grown
did a good
up
job.
now.
He wasn't. He's no Warwick Davis, but he's better than Hornswoggle, which is the WWE guy in Origins.
Hey, put some respect on his name.
Please, indeed.
How can I put a respect on a name that doesn't respect itself?
Oh, there you go.
And then lastly, Resident Evil 4 VR announced for Oculus Quest 2. So this was weird because I was watching like the Kind of Funny live stream and they were watching the PlayStation live stream. And so the PlayStation live stream cut out before like ended.
Oh, that's great.
Like left us out.
Yeah, I watched it on the Capcom
I should have been
USA
doing that.
Twitch stream. Yeah, so I saw it. That's funny. Yeah, so people were confused at first. They're like, so is this the remake of 4 that was like rumored?
Yeah.
No, this is just something else. In fact, this was leaked with that Capcom leak. That they mentioned they were working on a VR RE4 project that wasn't remake, so that's what this is.
Okay.
And obviously it looks like it's the same. They're using the same key art from 2004.
Yeah.
You know,
Hey,
and
man,
it's like
whatever works.
It's the same village. Yeah, exactly. It's a hey, those assets are good. we're gonna use them, okay?
So
But,
it was
it looks
Oculus
fine.
Quest 2, Capcom, Oculus Studios, and Armature Studio have announced Resident Evil 4 VR for Oculus Quest 2. It will launch in 2021. More information will be announced at the Oculus Gaming Showcase on April 21st. Why do people not care about the whole Facebook integration thing on the Oculus 2 anymore?
Well, I don't know if you follow Alana Pierce on YouTube.
Not on YouTube,
she
but
had
on Twitter I do.
She had a video, I think, a few months back where she said, like, Twitter is kind of the minority of the internet in the grand scheme of things. So if Twitter is vocal about something, it's like about between 1 to 6% of the total internet. And a lot more people don't care about the Facebook privacy issues, or they don't know about it. They just use it to post memes, go on conspiracy sites,
all that.
connect with family. So in the grand scheme of things, they don't care about the privacy issues. And
no, but even the people on my timeline like didn't seem to care about it anymore, and that's more what I'm like surprised by.
It's a weird thing because Facebook hasn't been found guilty of anything in particular. So, well, let's not cross our fingers yet. But yeah, I feel like people are kind of like, okay, I can live with this. Nothing bad has happened to me and my immediate people, so I'll just keep using it until it eventually blows up in my face and have no other option than deleting my account.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's I think he's right about that. I think a lot of people just like don't know, or don't care enough to like look into those issues and like let it inform their buying decisions. Or even if they do hear about it, they have that same mindset of like, well, this is happening to other people. My data's safe. Things like that, right? And it's like,
this is
until they're given an immediate reason, right?
It's also just weird that it seems to be Oculus exclusive for now. Hopefully, just timed.
Yeah, super weird.
Yeah, it could come to Labo.
I don't.
I think PlayStation VR is also a good bet for this.
Just not
and
at
the
launch, maybe
HTC Vive,
or just not
in the Valve Index.
Yet.
Yeah.
The Microsoft
we'll
HoloLens. No, I'm just kidding. That's different.
No,
that's AR.
That would, that's AR. So it could be for some other fun experiments with the RE name, but yeah, it's not gonna be RE4.
RE Tactics.
It's interesting that they RE Tactics. Yes, that's what I've been waiting for. No, I'm waiting for a Resident Evil MMO. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting that unlike RE7, they're not supporting Village, this new one that is also first person with any sort of VR, but they're going back into the back catalog. This sounds like a license deal completely. Like it sounds like Capcom has very little involvement with this, so they're probably like just letting them fund it completely. Just like, go ahead.
Probably. What I'm thinking is that maybe the sales for RE7 Village, not Village, RE7
Biohazard.
on PS, Biohazard, for VR weren't that great, and maybe that's why they decided to take a swing at a more popular entry. Because
maybe
put RE4 on something and it will sell 1 million. Maybe that's Capcom's thinking.
what's funny, yeah, maybe the attach rate for the VR units wasn't there because like RE7 sold pretty well onto itself, like I think 4.5 million units eventually. But the biggest thing would be like, okay, how many people bought that and PSVR, and like probably wasn't there for it. I still can't think of a killer app for PSVR beyond RE7 originally, and then Astro's Playroom was the original, or was it Rescue Bot Mission?
Rescue Bot Missions.
That was when people were kind of going evangelizing, but I haven't heard of anything else since then. So
and the thing with Oculus is that you don't necessarily need a PC to run it.
Right.
So that might be more appealing to people. But who knows? Maybe for RE4, the fidelity is low enough that you can run it on the Quest 2 by itself.
Oh, for sure it is. Yeah.
So maybe that's why they went down that route.
Yeah, potentially. What an easy get. Like RE4 will never, like, we will have a remake of RE4 one day. We will. And yet they will still port the original game, like side by side. Like no matter where you go, that game will be on that system.
It's gonna be the new when you guys were like in like school, did you see people like download like the old Pokemon games on their fancy calculators?
No.
It'll be like the new. It'll be like the new thing like that. I was like, oh, I got Resident Evil 4 on my TI 1000 or whatever.
What I am wondering is, should the eventual full remake of RE4 come, what will the story look like, and what are they actually building towards? Because they are building towards something, it seems.
Yeah, I totally agree with that actually, because they even have a little kind of a stinger at the end of RE3 remake that's not from the original game, and everyone's like, what does this mean? It's like we presume it's either Jill or some other character holding onto like a busted vial of like the virus, and it's like, all right, are you hinting at something bigger here? And I think there is also connections. Nick Fury comes out and goes like, have you heard of the stars? But yeah, I there's also connections where like Las Plagas shows up a little bit in RE3 remake, so it's almost like they're setting up for remake. So and a lot of people had the question going like, well, RE4 is the first game to kind of like do a hard pivot away from the survival horror and be more survival action or action horror, whatever you want to call it, and had, just a lighter tone, a jokier tone. Like Leon was like, swarmy the entire game. But these remakes are not that. They are not that. They're grisly, they're gritty, they're photorealistic. They're brought to you by the Reach for the Moon engine, which that was a revelation.
The Reach for the Moon engine.
I have no words.
Yeah, but I feel like RE4, we might see a lot different. And in fact, there's internal turmoil with the studio that was originally doing it. I think they're called M2, who helped out with production on Remake 3. They wanted to like keep it more in tune with like a 1-for-1 remake, Blue Point style. Whereas Capcom was like, that's boring. We want more new out of this, which is interesting. That Capcom would be the one saying like, hey, we're actually going to make the risky choice, and the studio wanting to do it is risk averse.
I think people caught wind of what happened at Ninja Theory when Capcom said, oh no, DMC, make it weirder. And then how the internet reacted to that, and they were like, nope, we're not touching this with a 10-foot pole.
Right. I love that Capcom basically just gets bored of its own franchise and it's just like, reboot that. Make it weirder. Strange it up a little bit for me. And the fans are like, you could just give me a sequel and we're good. Which eventually they did with Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry 5 is very much in spirit with like, the other four. So, but RE4, that's like one, if you get it wrong, so many people would be mad. And I don't even mean like survival horror people. RE4 is like this coveted game that's on like every game dev's list of like games that inspire me. Like Neil Druckmann was just talking about RE4 as like an inspiration to his titles over at Naughty Dog. So it's like, if you mess up this remake, I don't even want to be there for the fallout.
It'll be interesting because I think the most recent example being Final Fantasy VII Remake, deviating so much from the original and still being a success, is something that inspires a lot of people and also scares a lot of people.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. And I'm one of the ones who very much likes the subversions in 7 Remake. They literally mean it's a remake. We're remaking this how we want.
Yeah.
This is basically what they said.
So wild.
Yeah, I feel like 4, go for it. There's characters that get dropped off in part 4, 5, 6. Like, what if Jill was there in the events of part 4? That would be neat. I'd be like, go for it, dude. I already have RE4. You know how I have it?
Yeah.
You've ported it to everything in existence. Give me a new story.
Even on consoles that don't exist anymore.
Exactly.
They find out at the end of Resident Evil 4 remake that Chris Redfield is trying to change the timeline. Werewolf Chris Redfield. I mean,
wow.
I was wondering why all the wisps were there at the end of Remake 3. It was crazy. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And then how do you reconcile like the remake universe with like this? I mean, we're obviously at the latest point in the timeline with Village. Chris Redfield's like in his 50s.
Well, Erroll just said it. Time travel. So
he's just young again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's the only thing I can think about. Otherwise, they might say, you know what? They're totally separate. We have no intention of making a Spider-Verse of our own or an Endgame of our own. So
they could do it.
Don't even ask us to.
Bring back Sheva.
Yeah.
Bring back Sheva for 5. Because they haven't done that since then. She wasn't even the bad part of it. Characters. She was fine.
No, she wasn't. There's so much bad in there, and they decided to leave all of it behind. It was the saddest thing. But yeah, Sheva would be a great character to come back. Here's a question that I have for you if you've played RE4. It's Jason. It sounds like you've played RE4, right?
Yeah, I have.
Okay. Well, how do we do Ashley? How do we do Ashley?
I at least know who that is.
Because that's a big part of the original game. Like, do you do The Last of Us or?
They have to. The thing is, Japan is often in awe of what the West does in their games. You could see it with The Witcher 3 translated to Final Fantasy 15 and so on.
Remake.
So,
well, not Witcher, but other games.
Yeah,
sure.
so they definitely will look at what Naughty Dog did with Ellie, or even with the Uncharted games, and see how is an AI companion useful instead of irritating. Or they might say, screw it. This is the joke we're sticking with. She's annoying till the end. We don't know what else to make of it, and that's it. But yeah, I think they're going the Naughty Dog route and kind of having a more grounded character be present and actually enhancing the gameplay instead of being a stressor. Because it's not fun if you also have to worry about someone else surviving. It could add to the tension, but if done poorly, it'll be it will not be the thing you'd want to implement. So I guess we'll see. Hopefully, they'll go down the Naughty Dog route.
Yeah, that's so. I would be so afraid to be on that dev team having to remake what is like a lot of fans consider like sacred ground.
Yeah,
basically. Like I just would not like. What direction do you go in? Any slight deviation is going to get you like flamed on forums. Essentially, God, that's got to be crazy. I almost say like don't do 4. Just like
I think it'd be funny that when Leon goes to rescue Ashley, you see her or you meet her like kicking ass and mowing down Las Plagas herself, and she's like, "Where have you been? I had to do all of this myself." Like, right. That's so cool.
Total reversal of the character, right?
Yeah.
That would be super interesting. See, take risk like that. I would love to see that. Like, give me something that's tonally consistent with like the last 2 remakes that you did, but give me something fun at the same time to like respect the original material.
Yeah.
But, yeah. We're away from that. We have a VR game in the meantime.
And a reverse. Reverse.
Yeah, I already deleted that.
Oh, that was only the beta. That wasn't even the full game yet.
Oh, I look forward to delete the full game too.
I'm gonna try it. Maybe. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm getting Resident Evil 8.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting 8, but I'm probably just gonna spend all my time playing Mercenaries. Now that I know Mercenaries is there, I have no reason to play Reverse.
Well, unless Mercenaries doesn't have co-op.
Even still.
Even still, I have no reason to play.
Even still, Capcom. They'll get it right. They keep on trying to make a multiplayer game be a thing for this franchise.
And they have the ground because I see you stream the Mercenaries mode from what? From 6, is it?
From 6, yeah. From part 6.
And that looks fun. And it's like, why can't they just use that idea?
They probably want to
separate,
take part in the current trends like 4v1 games or battle royale, God forbid.
Oh my God.
So you're probably
Resident Royale.
Resident Royale.
And
That would be great. Yeah, I definitely would play it too. So they're probably looking into things like that, or they're waiting on like the factions multiplayer mode for Last of Us 2 to drop and see like, oh, this is how it's done properly. Okay.
Yeah, we'll just
stuff
copy
like
that
that.
for the next one. Right. Exactly.
Exactly.
Oh, we got it.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. I think, because we just got past this 2-hour mark, so I think that's going to be it for this week. Sorry to cut this short, but...
No, it was fun.
It's all good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Kevin, thank you for being a guest and being a star and helping us out here.
Just being a fun time.
A good mensch.
I'm a fun time. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for having me, guys. I appreciate the invite.
You are always
appreciate the good
welcome back.
conversation. Well, thank you kindly, sir.
Okay.
All right. So for the rest,
where can people find you?
Yeah,
by the way, yeah.
Oh my God! Well, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can follow me at KevinApocalypse, just like it sounds. And I pretty much stream every week. Like I said earlier, I do Devil May Cry every Friday, which is coming up real soon. That's tomorrow for me. At twitch.tv/TheRedHerb, because everything I do is a Resident Evil reference.
Nice. Okay, well, pleasure to have you. We're looking forward to seeing you soon and looking at your content, so please give him a follow and a like. This has been Erroll, this has been Jason. Thank you for listening.
Yes.
Stay safe, have fun out there, be kind to each other, stay healthy.
Wear a mask, get the vaccine if you're able to, and your doctor says you can.
Yeah.
As such.
So, take care, and we'll see you next time.
Yep.
Bye.
Matinee.